Hello everybody, this is take 2 of a video that I already started to make, and then I had an interruption from something here at home, and you can't, the software I use here for StreamYard, can't just go back and like record over that part or do that kind of thing, and I could have just downloaded and re-edited and done a lot more labor-intensive work, and it's difficult to find the time. So, we're going to do this again. It's going to be shorter than it was the first time, because I'm kind of low on patience and I want to get this tasted. So what do I have for you today? Today, for episode 53, this is George Remus straight bourbon whiskey. It's 94 proof, and I've been wanting to try something from the George Remus brand for a while, but it wasn't in my local stores until recently, and then I found one. This one was relatively inexpensive too. It was $35 or $36.99, I think, something like that. Maybe even $34, but it was in the mid-30s. And as you can see, I've already got some in my glass. I haven't gotten to taste it yet, so I didn't get that far in the previous video. I did have an ice cube in there that's melted down to a little nub. The color is nice. You can see a little ice cube chunk just floating in there. Smells good. Smells like a good bourbon. Definitely has like the alcohol smell to it though. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a bit heavy on the burn there, but we're going to find out. So without going too far left field, this is George Remus straight bourbon whiskey. Sour, real sour right up front. Reminds me a little bit of the Dutch bourbon whiskey, which is the Predator movie franchise branded whiskey. It reminds me of that. It doesn't have the very particular bergamot kind of flavor that has, the Earl Grey tea kind of thing, but it definitely tastes more like that than other bourbons that I've had, and it is giving me a nice bit of a numbing sensation on the tongue, which is not bad. Definitely a sour mash bill right off the bat though. Pardon me. But not bad. Kind of in between as far as bourbons go. This is probably either a good shot bourbon or a good social bourbon, where you have a glass or something like this, like a tumbler or a rocks glass, and everybody takes a little bit, and then maybe you cork the bottle back up and move on to something else. But let me give it another taste now that my palate has been a little altered after the first one. Yeah, real sour. Very much a sour mash bill. Definitely reminds me of that. So it's pretty alcohol heavy as far as the flavor goes. Very sharp tasting. Less heat. It's not so much like a Kentucky bourbon. This is made in Indiana, distilled in Indiana. So I have to assume. Nope, I'm getting my states wrong. I was going to assume that George Remus must have been from Chicago, but Chicago is in Illinois and not from Indiana. So, but yeah, it doesn't have the same kind of heat and alcohol kick that a Kentucky bourbon has, but it does have a sharpness and a sourness to it. So it's not bad. It's decent. For the price, I can recommend it. If it had been more expensive than what I'd paid, I probably wouldn't have been too keen on it. But at the price point it's at, I think it's decent. I'm interested in tasting what their higher end expressions are like, because I see them advertised a lot, and that's how I first heard about them. I'd seen some of their limited and some of their really like more expensive things and hard to find things, and none of that was here in Ohio. And I was surprised to see this one, and I was glad to as well, because that gave me a chance to kind of get some perspective. So, so there you have it. It's 94 proof, George Remus, straight bourbon whiskey. And of course, it says he is king of the bootleggers. Nice little story on the back. My previous video that was going to be here in this place, I read the little story in the back, but like I said, my patience is lower now. So, but there you have it, episode 53. I do not have an episode 54 on deck for you yet, but I'm sure by the time you have seen this video, I will probably have something in the works already, because it's usually pretty quick. And plus, this is the third of a series of pre-recorded videos, because I'm kind of ahead of the game. I have stuff that's supposed to come boom, 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 all in a row. And I had stuff planned out before we did the 50th episode, and I didn't want to ruin the chronology, so to speak. So, on top of all that, here's a kitten. Here's a kitten. And I will catch you guys next time. So until then,